here to pay solemn tribute to the 40 passengers and crew members on Flight 93 who rose up, defied the enemy, took control of their destiny, and changed the course of history.
Somber moments in Shanksville just about an hour ago as President Trump paid tribute to the men and the women who fought back against hijackers on Flight 93. The President and the First Lady spent the morning at the Flight 93 National Memorial surrounded by first responders and family members who lost loved ones 17 years ago. Ross Guidotti is there. He joins us live now with more on the President's tribute. Ross?
It's hard to believe. It's been 17 years since that historic event that took place on what was one time just a strip mine that within a minute at 10:03 on September 11th here in Somerset County would become sacred ground. And that is what a lot of people were thinking during the very solemn ceremony. The ground very wet, the sky very dark, many people reflecting on that horrific day. But in as much as they were talking about the terror that took place, they also spoke about the amazing acts of heroism by 40 passengers who didn't know each other when they boarded the plane, but would come together in an attempt to save many other people's lives and in turn lose their own. As it has been the tradition at the Flight 93 memorial services since September 11th, 2001, there was the reading of the passengers and crew's names as well as the ringing of dual bells. Two former governors here to speak, Governor Wolf, Governor Schweiker, but of course the main speaker today, none other than the President of the United States, Donald Trump.
A piece of America's heart is buried on these grounds, but in its place has grown a new resolve to live our lives with the same grace and courage as the heroes of Flight 93. This field is now a monument to American defiance. This memorial is now a message to the world. America will never, ever submit to tyranny.
Over the last decade and 7 years, you haven't seen as many people showing up, actually 16 years, not counting the year that it happened, as many people showing up for the memorial service as time goes by. But of course, with the president here, there were quite a few people, many of his supporters, applauding loudly when he took to the podium to deliver his remarks. After that, he spent some time with, or before that, he spent some time with some of the members of the families on Flight 93, and then was off to Johnstown, where the, of course, Air Force One was waiting, and he, as we understand, is going to be leaving shortly. Now, there was quite a few people leaving here immediately and went over to the visitor center. Right now, they're starting to essentially go away and will await, I guess, the next ceremony a year from now, where America will once again come to remember those 40 people who essentially saved thousands of lives with one amazing act of heroism. We'll have more on the ceremony coming up tonight on KDKA-TV News. Please join us then. Reporting live at the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, Ross Guidotti, KDKA-TV News.